All right, I'm here with an updated look at my Nintendo Wii collection. It's been a while since I've updated this one. I think 2020, so about 3 years now since I've updated this one. And Wii is one of those systems that I'm constantly adding stuff to because I always am finding Wii stuff, and I'm always finding Wii stuff that at least is interesting enough to me that I'm like, huh, I'll keep that in the collection, or I'll throw that in the collection. So gonna update that. Wii is at a great place right now. If you're not collecting for Wii, I think this is the time to do it. Well, the time to do it was actually probably when I was, really hardcore into Wii collecting about, 2013 through 2015 when the stuff was absolutely dirt cheap, but it's still affordable for the most part. And I think these are going to be the last years where it is still affordable. So you're going to want to jump in on it, I think. There's already some stuff that's going up in price, but there's still some cool and interesting stuff that you can get for pretty cheap. And it's not as dirt cheap as it was, but it's still, I think, maybe the last stretch of time before Wii stuff goes up in price. If you just look at historically how Nintendo collecting goes, where about 20 years it starts hiking up in value, and we're getting close to that, horrifyingly enough. So, something to keep in mind there, but going into the collection now, the Wii, I don't know, the Wii gets a lot of hate, but I think it's a fun system to collect for. It was really fun to collect for when I was going hardcore into it, and it's still fun to find some horrible game or some bizarre game you've never heard of, and you decide to just check it out, and it's like, huh, okay. So, speaking of horrible game, we're gonna start, we're gonna start rough here. 101 Party Mega Mix. So you might ask why I have this, and I just find it funny it's published by Atlas. Like, even Atlas couldn't, you know, even they had to cash in on the Wii shovelware train. No one was safe from the Wii shovelware train. No one was safe. And even Atlas was like, hey, we could probably at least publish some, some junk that'll be thrown in the Big Lots clearance bin. Why not? So, just interesting stuff. Boy and His Blob, this is a Way Forward developed kind of remake of the NES game. And it's really cute. It's really pleasant. And I like the 2D art style. It's pretty good. Published by Majesco, which is kind of weird. They don't exist anymore. I think they were out of like New Jersey or something. But yeah, one underrated one. I think they ported this to other systems soon, but one worth checking out, throwing in your collection, especially if you like Way Forward. They're a little hit or miss for me, but that's definitely one of their good ones. Animal Crossing City Folk. I spent so much time with this game. It's interesting because a lot of people, I feel like this is kind of one of the more, there's not a huge fan base for City Folk compared to a lot of the other Animal Crossing games, but I spent a lot of time with this one, and I skipped straight from the GameCube game to the Wii game. I didn't play the DS game at the time, so I think a lot of people were kind of thinking like this isn't too different from the DS game, but they get that big step up, for me at least. But yeah, played so much of this one. I liked it a lot, but probably not going back to it very often these days. But that was a mainstay for my Wii for many years. Arc Rise Fantasia. So this is a RPG, and it's probably best known for its atrocious voice acting. If you see like bad voice acting compilations on YouTube, this game is going to be in it. But it's kind of a just so-so RPG. It's nothing special, but if you're an RPG fan on the Wii, your options were kind of limited in some ways. So might be worth checking out. I think this one might be expensive now. I'm not sure if it's probably not worth too much expensive. Too much expensive. Or not worth paying too much for, but interesting title at the very least. Baroque. I bought this this is still sealed. I bought this at a store closing sale, my first pickup video. I think for either $3 or $6, something like that. I don't know even really too much about this. But Atlas published title, developed by Sting. I don't even know who Sting is. Is it the bass player? I don't know. Battalion Wars 2. So Battalion Wars was a GameCube game. This is the sequel. If I'm not mistaken, it's like related to Advance Wars in some way. I don't like the console versions of these were Battalion Wars, and then it's Advance Wars on handheld. I don't know. And I know they had Famicom Wars and stuff like that we never got. So it's a confusing lineup there. But Battalion Wars 2. Big Brain Academy Wii Degree. Not the most interesting one. Kind of a fun party game, I guess. But I never liked how they had the touch generation on the DS. You know, the little thing at the top. I never liked how they brought it over to the Wii because you're not touching anything on the Wii. You get the Wii remote, like move generation, shake generation. I don't know. But just kind of interesting to look at like Nintendo's way of them doing things back then, where there were a lot of more casual games than there are now. And they did a Big Brain on the Switch. But a lot more casual games than we were getting back then. Bomberman Land. I have not played this one particularly, so I'm gonna guess it's just another Bomberman game but for the Wii. But you gotta love Bomberman. Who doesn't? You know, there's more than 40 mini games, adventure, and multiplayer action. I mean, this one I always thought was interesting. Boom Blocks. This was a Steven Spielberg thing that he did, and it's pretty fun. I mean, it's pretty simple. Something that wouldn't come out today, but just because they would make it a mobile game or something. But pretty interesting concept. Pretty interesting game. And yeah, weird that Steven Spielberg was like, yeah, I got to get in on this. I got to get on this gaming stuff. And you know what? Boom Blocks. That's where I'm going with it. But another weird one. Kind of surprised there wasn't more like this. Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templar. So Broken Sword is a old like point and click adventure series. And they brought it over to the Wii. I feel like the Wii was a good platform for point and click adventure type games. So I'm kind of surprised there wasn't too many of them. They got like the humongous entertainment games on there. So there was some, but not many. So yeah, kind of interesting that, this is kind of the state of it, but an interesting, I guess, thing to have in the collection of, they tried with the point and click. Someone tried at least. Oh, heck yeah, brother. Brunswick Pro Bowling. Yeah. Bust-A-Move Bash. Up to 8 players. This is not one that I played either, but I think I got it for cheap at a garage sale. And it's, thought it was kind of interesting. I had never seen that they put a Bust-A-Move game on the Wii until I got it. I guess, probably should expect that if the Wii, if it exists, it was on the Wii. It's the Wii, a lot of games, a lot of opportunities to sell you something. So, Calling. So this is a horror game from Hudson. It's not particularly great, but it's kind of an interesting thing that they just happened. It was one of the more expensive and rare Wii games for a while, and then they reprinted it on like Amazon. So Hudson kind of flooded the market with new stock, so it's not worth as much. Still kind of interesting. They have like a mechanic where you're getting phone calls on the Wii remote, and the Wii remote speakers aren't exactly top notch, but interesting game at the very least. Even if it's not great, but it's bizarre that Hudson was like, yeah, we're gonna put out a horror game. You don't really think of Hudson for that. I don't know. I don't know if they developed it. I'm trying to look at who developed this one. It looks like they might have. I don't know. Weird. One that I don't see people talking about very much, and there's a genre that's just not really on the Wii. I'm not a huge fan of this genre, but Castle of Shikigami 3, this is a, classic shooter, shoot 'em up. I'm not saying shmup because I hate shmup, but it's a shoot 'em up, and it is, I'm not the biggest fan of the genre, but from what I could tell when I played it forever ago, it's a good one. It's fine. I don't know. That's one of my genres where I'm just like, you could give me the best shooter of all time, and you could give me the worst shooter of all time, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm playing a shooter. So, not exactly my thing, but interesting game. Shoot 'em ups are always weird on Wii because you have to have like this weird letter boxing because it the screen is usually like portrait mode, so it's always a little bit weird. I know they have like workarounds on that for the Switch, but I mean even going back to like Gunbird on the Dreamcast and stuff, always kind of odd. Speaking of odd, Cold Stone Creamery Scoop It Up. I got this in a lot and I kept it just because I think this is such a bizarre, just such a bizarre concept. So this is an example of like a fourth party game, which is when an outside company or outside product comes in and makes a game, or is the focal point of a game. And yeah, Cold Stone Creamery Scoop It Up, really bad. You could tell that this was developed like somewhere in Southeast Asia because it's just like, I'm sure the normie family who bought this game is like, why am I scooping why am I scooping ice cream at like this weird market, like this in a bazaar? It's like, I don't know. Very interesting, very strange. I don't know who saw this in the store when it first came out and was like, "Oh heck yeah, Cold Stone Creamery, let's go." That's gonna be a great game, but not a good one. But a very fascinating game to even exist. Crash Mind Over Mutant. This was during the dark era of Crash Bandicoot type games. Not great. I didn't play too much of this one, but I remember trying it out. Not great. I hate the crash design that they had in these. These like kind of mid-reboot Crash games. I don't know. Hate the design. It looks heinous. It just looks horrible. Just no. Dead Rising Chop Till You Drop. They tried with this one at least. It's a port of is it Dead Rising or Dead Rising 2? I can't remember. I think it's just a port of Dead Rising 2, and they tried, but when you're trying to pair something like this down to the Wii, it's not gonna end great, but a valiant effort nonetheless. There was a lot of times that they tried to pair stuff down to the Wii, and it didn't always work. The Call of Duty games, to give them credit, they at least kind of worked, but as far as anything else goes, Dead Space is another one here. Dead Space Extraction. This is an original game for the Wii. Actually, this is still sealed at the bottom. But it is a rail shooter. And I didn't play this one back in the day. I know it's a rail shooter, though. I remember people were like, everyone, buy Dead Space Extraction so that EA knows that gamers are on the Wii. And it's like, don't think that worked out quite so well. But maybe I ought to give this one a try. I mean, it's not really sealed, so I can play it. But I really like Dead Space and Dead Space Remake. I haven't played any of the other ones, but a Wii rail shooter might be interesting. De Blob. So people really like this game. I never played it. I never really tried it out. But I know they made a sequel too. But this was kind of a big thing. Coloring in areas as a platformer. I know people like this one. Haven't tried it out, but I've heard good things. Dewey's Adventures, a cute little game. Dewey looks a little bit like a condom, though. As you can see, he does have kind of a condom look, but cute little game. Dewey's a cute little guy. What else is there to say? This is going to be a long video. This is going to be a long one. Disaster Day of Crisis. So Monolith Soft developed this one. It didn't get it got a release in Europe. It got a release in Japan. I got this while I was in Japan. And this is, an interesting game. I have not been able to play it, but I've seen a couple of YouTube videos about it. It looks interesting. I don't have a Japanese Wii. And I don't feel like modding my Wii. Like, I'll just, next time I'm in Japan, I think I'm going to get a Japanese Wii U and be able to play both. But, I believe the Japanese version of this game is still in English. At least the cutscenes are, so you probably be able to figure it out. But cool game. Weird that Monolith Soft, the RPG company of all people made this, but they haven't really made anything like it since. So I don't know. Next up, we got the one, the only Virginity Destroyer, Donkey Kong Barrel Blast. This game sucks, dude. This game's abysmal. I mean, that's all I have to say about this one. This game is just truly abysmal. have anything else. But luckily, the Wii was blessed with a good Donkey Kong game as well. Donkey Kong Country Returns. This game is great. I'm a little bit more partial to Tropical Freeze, but this game is still really solid. And Retro, really talented. It's a shame that they haven't been able to make anything in 8 years, 9 years. Because they did the Metroid Prime trilogy, and then they go on and make two excellent, 2D platformers, and then we don't hear from them very, very much. So, these games are great. Donkey Kong Country Returns is great. What else is there to say? The music's great. Level design is so clever, and it's so well designed. Very talented. Dragon Quest Swords, The Masked Queen and the Tower of Mirrors. I got this one cheap at a pawn shop. I don't remember ever playing it. The stuff starts to bleed together at some point. When you have so many games, a lot of these games, you try out for an hour, a couple hours. A lot of them you play all the way through, and it's like, I don't know, I probably played that one if I played it for like 20 minutes. And then I never thought of it again. I bought this when I was in Japan. I don't know what this is. Some kind of Dragon Quest Victory. I don't even know what this is. I think it was probably 100 yen. I saw Dragon Quest and like some little ape. My ape brain was like, ooh. Dream Pinball. A pinball game for the Wii. Yeah. I've just got this one like last garage sale season for cheap. I've not played it, but I've heard interesting things about this one. Kind of a weird game where you're just shooting on little guys or something. And yeah, one I'll have to try out. But I've heard good things. Kind of it's an underrated Wii game. So got a duology here. I think this is the first duology. Epic Mickey. Epic Mickey 2. So this is gonna be like dark. I don't know how this is gonna focus, but the first Epic Mickey game is pretty decent. I never beat it or anything, but it's pretty decent. They were really going for something with this one. It was Wii exclusive. They really marketed this game. This was when Disney had like their own in-house game studios. They've shut them all down since then or sold them off. But yeah, I forget the name of this. Junction Point, I believe, was the game team. It was led by Warren Spector of Deus Ex fame, so it was definitely not some kind of slouch studio by any means. But Epic Mickey 2 came out. It came out on everything, like everything, Wii U and Wii. I hear the Wii version's the best. That's why I have it, and also it's because it's duology. Although I have it on Wii U as well because I'm going for the full set, so I'm an idiot. But it came out on like Vita. It came out on everything, 360, PS3, and by all accounts it wasn't good. I didn't play it, but by all accounts it was not good. They also did, I think, Way Forward did a 3DS game. That one's pretty decent. It's like the Castle Evolution games, but then they shut down the studio and we never heard from them again. But yeah, that was when Disney tried to have their own in-house teams. The only one left doing that is Warner Brothers. For better or for worse. Final Fantasy, Crystal Chronicles, Crystal Bearers. Never really played these on here. I never really had much interest in Crystal Chronicles. I don't know. We also got here Final Fantasy Fables, Chocobo's Dungeon. It is a Chocobo dungeon game, so it's like a mystery dungeon type game. That is definitely... I don't like roguelikes. I don't like that kind of game. So this is definitely not for me, but... Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Pretty good Fire Emblem game. Can't argue with that one. The second of the Ike games. This one is expensive, but less so than Path of Radiance. Shout out to Sky85 for selling me this game like 10 years ago. Classic. But yeah. Fire Emblem. Weird that it's E10. They really tried to get it in there, but yeah. I mean, you guys are going to think I'm a casual, but I prefer the Fire Emblems where I don't have to worry about permadeath. I mean, it's a fun challenge sometimes, but I don't know. It's like I don't need to think too much. I hate this game, Fling Smash. This game is abysmal. I loathe this game. It's awful. So I remember getting this because it was on clearance at Target. It came with a Wii Motion Plus, like a black Wii Motion Plus, and it was on clearance at Target for $20. So it was like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. Of course I'm gonna get that. And Wii Remote's like $40. Why wouldn't I just get it for $20? And then I played this Fling Smash game. I played it all the way to completion because you can beat it pretty fast. And it's just abysmal. I hate this game. It sucks really bad. And this is, of course, Artoon, who I don't know. They're Zest, and they made Balan Wonderworld. So their reign of terror will never end. Fortune Street. Fortune Street is epic. This game's great. It's like Mario Party Monopoly type game. I guess it's not too Mario Party because it's not like mini games, but it's like a Monopoly type game. A little bit more involved than Monopoly. Some extra rules. It might take some explaining if you're going to get anyone to play it with you, but once they're in, this game is great. This is such a good game. I wish there was something like this on the Switch. Maybe an online multiplayer game. Like Fortune Street's awesome. Really great time. Square Enix developed this one. That's why there's Mario characters, and then there's Dragon Quest characters as well. You got the slime, everything, Platypunk. Awesome game. Just epic. I think Final Fantasy characters are in here too. I think Chocobo's in here, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while, but love that one. One of my favorite Wii games. This is still sealed. I bought this on Xseed's website for like $20 way back in the day, just because I heard it was a good one, and then never got around to playing it. Now this game's really expensive, so I think I might just have to keep this one sealed. Fragile Dreams, Farewell Ruins of the Moon. It's supposed to be a really cool, really interesting kind of horror type game, where you use like the Wii Remote with like a flashlight and everything. I've heard good things, but I don't want to crack open the seal now. So I guess instead of that, I'm just going to have to play Freddy Fish, Kelp Seed Mystery. So yeah, I grew up with the humongous entertainment games. I think a lot of people probably around my age did. And they're classics. So when I found out these were ported to the Wii and, was just saw them out in the wild for cheap, I was like, yeah, I got to grab these. They got them on the Switch now. They made a physical collection of them on the Switch. They're out there doing their thing with the humongous entertainment games. But good stuff. Fun times. Great point-and-click games for kids. I got a duology here, but I don't have anything to say. I have Game Party 1 and Game Party 2. There were cheaper games at the time. I think they were like retailed at $20. And yeah, they just were, mini game collections. I liked them as a kid, but I'm going to imagine that I liked the darts game. Ghostbusters, a video game. So this is a different version than the PS3 360 version. This is the same one as like the PS2 version and the PSP version. I don't remember. But it's more cartoony. It still is, has all the voice actors, all the characters and everything, but it's more cartoony looking. And I liked this game when it came out. I enjoyed it. But I don't know. I would think probably your best bet is to play the higher end version. That's the one that got ported to modern systems. So I would probably go with that one. Ghost Squad. This is a kind of a light gun shooter from Sega. We had a lot of light gun games just because it's like, yeah, just throw it in the stupid Wii Zapper. Everything's a light gun game now. So if one thing came out of worthless plastic accessories for the Wii, it's that we got a lot of light gun games that are pretty fun. Godzilla Unleashed. I don't think I've tried this one out. I don't remember. I know people like the Godzilla titles. I think that's one that I got for cheap and just haven't checked out. GoldenEye Wii. A quintessential game for Wii players who desperately wanted to have a 360 that they could play real shooters on. But no, this one's good. The online multiplayer was pretty hype. And they kind of just took the original. I mean, it's not GoldenEye, it has Daniel Craig in it, and it's like pretty much just Call of Duty. But for what it is, it's fine. And yeah, this was a hype multiplayer game back in the day. I think the multiplayer servers are still online. No one tell Activision that those are still going, guys. They'll probably shut them off to save like 3 pennies a year. Moving on, we got my obsession for God knows how many years. There was a time in my life where I played nothing but Guitar Hero games. I'm not joking. I probably 2009 until the beginning of 2011. Then I got into game collecting and kind of, came to my senses. But I played nothing but Guitar Hero and Rock Band for like pretty much all of 2009, 2010. It was something else. I'm pretty cracked at Guitar Hero though, guys. So don't try to challenge me to Guitar Hero because I'm very good at it. But I got pretty much all the guitar. I didn't get like Band Hero, but I got all the Guitar Hero games I think on the Wii. And yeah, I mean, the Guitar Hero they were noble ports of these games. They were good, they were feature complete. You don't really need the graphics to be good on the Wii. You could buy the DLC on the Wii, which I did, and that's just wasted money because it's just locked on the Wii. But I did that more for Rock Band. We'll get to Rock Band, but yeah, I like Guitar Hero. I know a lot of people. There's like kind of a resurgence of it with Clone Hero and whatever, but there's like kind of a resurgence going on of like the instruments are kind of expensive to grab again, which is funny because 6-7 years ago they were just littering thrift stores. But the instruments are kind of, expensive to get again, and there's demand for it. And yeah, I mean, one of the third-party games on the Wii that was pretty much feature complete with everything else going on this series. And yeah, best one I think was World Tour, although that was the first one I got. And yeah, everyone knows what happened with Guitar Hero. They were releasing too many, and it just ended up kind of fizzling out. And then they did that guitar. They waited. They didn't wait long enough to bring it back. And then they brought it back. When they brought it back, it was, what was that Guitar Hero game? Guitar Hero Live? That was just awful. I think they could bring it back. I think there's enough nostalgia for like Guitar Hero 3 now that they could just remaster that game and it would probably do pretty well. But you never know. Got some Harvest Moon games on the Wii. Interesting to have. I not played either of these just because, I don't know. Harvest Moon is one of those things where it's like, I mean, if I'm gonna play it at this point, am I not gonna just play like Stardew Valley, or am I not gonna just play like a classic one, or I don't know, like am I gonna go for the Wii games? I'm not entirely sure, but not gonna play the new ones because they're not Harvest Moon, if you guys remember. Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. I got this for cheap. It's still sealed. Capcom put this out. It's like the Adult Swim show, but Capcom put this out. I think it's like vaguely Ace Attorney-esque. And big Ace Attorney fan, so I thought it was just a fun oddity to have in the collection. House of the Dead 2 and 3 return once again. As far as things go with light gun shooters and stuff, pretty classic. I don't have House of the Dead Overkill. I haven't been able to find I found a copy of it, but it was like disc only, so I didn't keep it. But that's one I'd still like to get. I have a huge Wii collection. It's well over 100 games. And there's still probably another 40 games or so that I would be interested in adding to the collection. So it's just one of those systems. Indiana Jones Staff of Kings. I remember being so hyped for this game. This game was only coming to Wii and PS2 in like 2009, I think. And I remember being so hyped for this one. And it's not good. I remember buying it like day one, $50. And then as a kid, I was 12, 11. 11. So I was like so hyped for this and paid $50 day one. And then like within like 3 weeks, it was like $20. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. I was on copium. This game is just not good. It has horrible motion controls, and you could tell that they were trying on this one, but the motion controls is what brings it down more than anything. It's really bad. But Indiana Jones is like a kind of a IP like ripe for video games. I know we got Machine Games making one now. Hopefully that's not Xbox exclusive, though it probably will be, and I'll have to get an Xbox for it. But they tried. Not very well, but they tried. Who developed this? Oh, A2M, who is now Behavior Interactive, because they figured out what A2M means. So the people who made Dead by Daylight made that game. Ivy the Kiwi? You have to say Ivy the Kiwi, because there's a question mark at the end. So this is still sealed as well. Actually, shout out to Objo Dad, beloved Objo Gaming lore character. He was on vacation. He went to a flea market, and the guy had this game for $20 at his booth. And this is a Yuji Naka game. Um, Imprisoned, punished Yuji Naka. But I've heard good things, but I have it sealed. I got to get it maybe loose or something. I've heard good things. It's like a puzzle platformer. I have the outer box for this somewhere, but just have the case on the shelf. Kirby's Dream Collection. This is a really good collection. It's funny that Mario gets a pretty lame collection on the Wii. They get like just essentially a Mario All-Stars ROM thrown on a Wii disc. And then this is a great collection. This is definitely not something that Nintendo would do nowadays without, absolutely milking it. But I mean, you got pretty much all the classic games, including Kirby 64, Kirby's Dream Land 2, which is a really expensive game to get. This is a great collection of Kirby games on here, and it has some good stuff too. I think, I know Obama. There's like a history section of Kirby history, and then there's also other things, and it says Obama was elected president. I don't know why. I hope I'm not making that up. That would be the most deranged thing to make up. Kirby's Epic Yarn. I love Kirby's Epic Yarn. I haven't, played it in forever, but I really liked this game back in the day. I just thought it was creative. It's obviously not difficult or anything, but as far as Kirby goes, I'm kind of hit or miss on Kirby. But I think Kirby had a great, run on the Wii. And this is one of my favorites of the Kirby series. Another Kirby game I really like. This one just got re-released on Switch. And I would recommend this one, Kirby's Return to Dreamland. It's fun. 4-player co-op game, and I was always playing New Super Mario Brothers Wii with my friends, and once we beat that one, this one it was like coming out, and it's like, hey, another 4-player co-op Wii game, with Kirby, nice. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. I like this one quite a bit, and this was pretty late release. This was 2011 late release Wii title, so a lot of people might not have played it. I don't know if the Switch version's good. I think I've heard it's a pretty good version of the game, so maybe just check that one out. Get the extra content rather than playing the Wii one, but either way, good title. So I've not played this because it's still sealed. This is another one expensive game that I got at that store closing sale, and it is sealed, so I have not unsealed it. But Klonoa. This was a remake of the Wii game, and notably, this game sold really, really, really badly. Like, I remember the statistic was that in its first week in the United States, it sold like 700 copies, something like that. So horrible, horrible performance. But I've heard good things about this remake. It's kind of made obsolete by the new Klonoa remake. They have the Klonoa 1 and 2 Dream Collection, or whatever they called it. That's on like PS5 and PS4 and Switch and everything. But they were trying to bring Klonoa back. I think they finally brought him back. So I'd probably, this is still expensive. And the PS1 game is outrageously expensive. So I probably would just go and play the one on Switch. This is a great game here. Last Story. I also have the collector's edition of this sealed. This is a really good one. This was Mistwalker, which is Sakaguchi's game studio that they have making JRPGs. They did Blue Dragon, they did Lost Odyssey. Now they just kind of do mobile games and stuff, mobile RPGs, although that one game that they have now looks pretty cool. But this is a really good Wii game. Nintendo published it outside of the United States, but if anyone remembers, they didn't want to publish a lot of games. They had 3 games they didn't want to publish that people bullied them into getting out over here. Exceed ended up publishing Last Story. It was also Pandora's Tower. And then Xenoblade was the only one that Nintendo published. And that became a pretty big franchise. So I guess these two kind of got left in the dust, Pandora's Tower and Last Story. But Xenoblade became a franchise at least. But Last Story is really, really cool game. Highly recommend this one. They should bring this back in some way, like, I don't know, HD remaster, something. Bring this game back because it's really cool. I mean, they're bringing Baten Kaitos back, so maybe they'll bring this one back. Nintendo owns the rights to this one, so I could see it happening. But recommend this one. Cool game. Going into some Zelda here. I got here Zelda Twilight Princess, the Wii version, and then I also have a sealed copy I found at a garage sale for $1. Kind of cool. Twilight Princess is not one of my favorite Zeldas. If you're going to play it, I would play the Wii U HD remaster. They did a good job with that one. But I didn't like it very much at all when it came out. Or not when it came out. When I first played it, I played the Wii one, and then finally I gave it another shot on the Wii U version. This is, of course, the infamous mirrored version, where Link is right-handed, so they mirrored the whole game. Bizarre choice, but I have a newfound appreciation of this one with the HD remaster. I don't like the Wolf Link stuff like at all, and that's a problem with our next game of Skyward Sword, which I don't like a lot of the filler in that game at all. But the dungeons are good, so you know. I mean, it is what it is. Oops, bumped the. It wouldn't be an Audio Gaming video without me bumping the tripod at some point, right? So I guess I kind of leaned into it, so we might as well. Got here Skyward Sword. I remember day one for this one, got the Wii Remote bundle, was so hyped for this one, and then ended up kind of being disappointed. And played it on the Switch, played it again on the Switch, and I came to appreciate it a little bit more. But it still is just a thing of like, God, this game, way too much padding. The Switch, don't play the Wii version, just don't. The Switch version kind of eliminates some of that padding and is just a better way of playing it. I mean, in every way. But the dungeons in this game are so good. Like you'll play like a really excellent like top 5 Zelda dungeon, and then you'll get thrown into like the worst thing you've ever played in your life. You're like looking for tadpoles in the water, and it's like, what are you doing here? Yeah, it's just a weird thing of like, everything in between the dungeons is not great. And then you got these great dungeons. It's such a shame that they couldn't kind of figure that out a little bit better. But at least I came to appreciate it in the end. What do we got here? We got another game series that I was playing constantly. Lego games, guys. Let's go. I got the Lego Batmans. Lego Indiana Joneses, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. I was all in on Lego. I was all in on the Lego series. I still play them. They don't make them as much now, which is kind of good because they were putting out way too many of them. But I still play them on the. I was playing them on PS4 and getting the platinums and everything. And I played the new Lego Star Wars on PS5, everything like that. So I like the Lego games. They're fun, little simple puzzle platformers. Great if you have like a kid or a partner who you're trying to get into games who's never really played them before, because they're fun. They're simple to understand, and they're a good way of getting you to understand like how to use controls and do basic puzzle solving. So good stuff. And they tried with these Wii ports. They're a little rough around the edges. I remember Lego Pirates of the Caribbean would like lock up all the time on the Wii version, but they tried. And Lego Rock Band, just a bizarre one. Bizarre game. Definitely the worst of the rhythm games, I would say. At least the Wii version, because the graphics were atrocious. I don't know what was up with that. Another game by our friend Punished Yuji Naka. Let's Tap. So this is a game kind of interesting. What you do is you put the Wii remote like on a cardboard box. You put it on a box, and then you tap to control the characters and stuff, and like kind of the vibrations happen from the Wii remote. It's a cool concept. It doesn't always work all the time, but when you can get it to work, it's a good time. Very interesting experimentation with the Wii remote. So we got here a physical copy of Link's Crossbow Training. I got it in Japan for so cheap. Like I think it was like less than 100 yen. Link's Bowgun Training. Just cool to have the actual case for it. In the United States here, we did not get a case for it. We got it in a little crappy sleeve. I always hated the Wii sleeves. You'd get Wii Sports in it when you got your Wii. Link's Crossbow Training came in a Wii sleeve. And then sometimes if you got a game like Wii Sports Resort or not Mario Kart, New Super Mario Brothers Wii, they would come in a sleeve, and they would just scratch the disc up. You put it back in the case, but it would scratch the disc in and out. So I always hated the Wii sleeve. But Link's Crossbow Training, I mean, it is what it is. It's a pretty serviceable little tech demo for the Wii Zapper. A solid pack-in for putting it in the Wii Zapper. So this is kind of a cool little like town management type game, Little King Story, published by Xseed. Who was it? Was this Onion Games developed this one? Who developed this one? I don't remember. They don't have it on the back. I can't remember. One of these little fun little Japanese studios developed this one, and it has a lot of personality. Another game that's pretty interesting, Lost in Shadow, published by Hudson. This is a pretty cool platformer where you're like have a shadow, and it's kind of a puzzle platformer where you are a shadow. You use like light and stuff, and it's a pretty good one. Would recommend trying that one out. I don't think this one's too expensive. I couldn't. It's hard to find though. I couldn't find this one forever, and then I went on vacation to Canada and I saw it in an EB Games like 2015. So they will get it there. Found this in a Goodwill for I think a buck or two. Mad Dog McCree Gunslinger Pack. So just a compilation of the arcade light gun games, those FMV arcade light gun games, and I think this actually holds some value, especially sealed. All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces. I think that's the lyrics. I don't remember. Mad World for... I was going to say Mad World for the Wii. Yeah, of course it's for the Wii. This is Platinum Games. I think this is their like a first game that they did as Platinum Games. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is though. And it is a kind of a crazy hack and slash game where everything's in black and white, kind of this stylized thing. But then there's just blood is still red, so it's all over the place. Fun game, interesting game to pick up. I think you can get this one for pretty cheap. I remember this game would used to be at GameStop for 99 cents. Like every GameStop would have one, so that's how much I paid for mine. But I think it's a little bit more now. But as a Platinum fan, maybe a little bit less so nowadays. But as a Platinum fan, I enjoy that one. Marble Saga Koro Rinpa. So that's another Hudson published game. They were out there on the Wii. They were just publishing stuff. They would just publish things. And this is another one, Marble Saga. It is a kind of a marble puzzle game. Nothing too, outstanding, but you can use the Wii balance board if you're a sick freak and you want to do that, but I can't imagine it works well. I certainly didn't try that. Some Mario and Sonic games. I remember being hyped for this, and I remember getting Mario and Sonic pretty much day one at Toys R Us and for $50. And I don't really like the Mario and Sonic games, Olympic games. They're kind of just cheap mini game collections, but they're not awful. I mean, as far as mini game collections go, these are on the better end. I mean, it's compared to some of this stuff like Cold Stone Creamery, it's like S tier, but still not, ideal with the concept. Mario Kart Wii, this one is a nostalgic one. I really loved Mario Kart Wii. I played this one online so much, and yeah, I think it's a great one. I mean, nowadays I would rather play Mario Kart 8, but this is a great one for sure. It's a little bit more technical now. Like, I feel like it's more technical than like a lot of the other Mario Karts. They've kind of simpled it up a little bit. Mario Sports Mix. I played this one a lot too. This is another Square Enix developed Mario game. They did that Mario basketball game on the DS, and they did this one. So there's like Moogle and stuff in here. Some reference characters that you can play as, and it's not great, but it's enjoyable. There's dodgeball. There's hockey. There's I'm trying to think what else. Volleyball is in here, I think. Some weird ones, but fun enough game. Continuing on, guys. 43 minutes in, and we're like halfway done. I can talk about the Wii all day. I can do it. Continuing the Mario games. Mario Party 8. Mario Party 8 is... I'm on the Mario Party Defense Squad. Alright? So... a lot of people a while back, I don't think this is really the case now, but like maybe 10 years ago, everyone was, none of the Mario parties except for the first three are good. All of them suck after the N64. But I really like the GameCube Mario parties, especially 6 and 7. I really like those games a lot. Those ones are great. Mario Party 8 got a lot of hate, and it's fine. It's not one of my favorite Mario parties, but as far as they go, it's pretty decent. It was originally supposed to be a GameCube game, and you could definitely tell it was originally supposed to be a GameCube game. You could definitely tell. But it is perfectly fine. I don't have a real problem with it. But then, the sick freaks at Nintendo that's the last Hudson Mario Party game. And Hudson gets kind of absorbed into Konami, doesn't really exist anymore. The sick freaks at Nintendo figure out, we gotta have a team for Mario Party. So they create ND Cube. This is the 343 of Nintendo. where they're made to essentially make Mario Party, and they can't make a Mario Party. So they give us this abomination, Mario Party 9. Mario Party 9. This is horrible. Why would they make the car? The car is awful. And then Mario Party 10, they don't course correct. They don't realize, ooh, that car was a mistake. We're not putting the car in anymore. No, they do it again. Awful. ND Cube, Super Mario Party is okay. Mario Party Superstars, that game's great. You know why? Because they just remastered the Hudson stuff. Don't get me started. No hate on ND Cube. You know, I'm sure great people work there, and they had some decent. I like Wii Party, but come on, guys. Mario Strikers Charged. I don't really like Mario Strikers. I don't like soccer, so it's not really my thing. But I always liked the art style. I always thought the art style was cool. And Next Level, I really like Next Level. I'm glad Nintendo finally purchased them because I think they're a great team. Mario Super Sluggers. I would assume that we're going to get a Mario baseball game soon. Bandai Namco developed this one, if I'm not mistaken. I would assume we're going to get another Mario baseball. On the Switch, they've touched upon pretty much every game, sport that you can do. But I remember as a kid, this one came out, and Family Video, shout out to Family Video if you're in the Midwest, you know Family Video, had a deal where if you brought in your report card, every A you got, you could get a free rental. So I remember bringing in my report card, and one of the rentals I got was Mario Super Sluggers, and had fun with that one. Yeah. I've not played this copy, but I remember playing back in the day, and I had fun with it. Metroid Other M. What is there to say about Metroid Other M that hasn't been said? You know, Team Ninja, Koei Tecmo developed this one. It was really graphically impressive for the Wii. It was one of the rare, like, dual-layered Wii games that had more information on it. But it's just not good. Guys, it's just bad. Like, I don't get how you make an action game, for the Wii, and you think, yeah, we're just going to have it. You hold the Wii remote sideways. No, you don't use the classic controller. You don't use the nunchuck. You're going to hold the Wii remote sideways and use the D-pad for this action game. And then when you need to go into first person, you're just going to swap the Wii remote to the other side and do it that way. Horrible. Just awful. I don't... Why didn't they just use the pointer controls and use the nunchuck for that? I don't get it. Don't like this one bit. I know people hate the story for it, but the story is just so boring. I wasn't even paying attention to how bad it was. But Metroid Prime trilogy, let's go. Metroid Prime is awesome, and the controls in this are a great way of having the motion control aiming for shooters. Really solid. I haven't played the Metroid Prime HD or remastered for the Switch because my physical copy keeps getting delayed, but I'm looking forward to playing that because Metroid Prime 1 especially, I've not played too much of 2 or 3. I've never finished them, but Metroid Prime 1, I played on the GameCube, and that game is awesome. That's a great game. So, part of that is Metroid Prime 3. Yeah. I haven't played too much of it, but I kind of covered everything in the trilogy. Alright, guys. Beloved Monster Hunter YouTuber Sky85, Monster Hunter 3 Try. I'm going to need you to write a review of this one in the comments, buddy. Yeah, I can't imagine he's going to watch this far into the videos, so this is just going to be embarrassing, but write a review of this one in the comments, bud. I remember you played this one a lot when it came out, so I want to see your thoughts. Mystery Case Files, The Malgrave Incident. This is like a found item game these were on PC, and you kind of did like you found items. Nintendo then decided, yeah, we're going to have to publish this one, that's for sure. It's pretty much just an I Spy. And Nintendo was like, yep, we're going to have to publish this one over on the Wii. I don't see why we wouldn't. Interesting part of Nintendo history at the very least. Namco Museum Mega Mix. So, yeah. I'm trying to think. This is the one they tried to do like new versions of arcade games, and they would have it in like 3D. They kind of remixed them. They have the classic ones too, but you know. For some reason I have this under new and not Pikmin, but new play control Pikmin. Great way to play Pikmin. The original Pikmin game, I think Pikmin as a series, I think just keeps getting better as it goes. That's why I'm so excited for Pikmin 4. But the original Pikmin game has its charm. I liked like the calendar and everything and how you got to try to do everything in that. Really great game. I feel like not enough people, I think people like Pikmin, but I don't think enough people realize how good Pikmin actually is, because it is really good. It's a really good series. But yeah, and Wii pointer controls for these are great. I don't have the new play control Pikmin 2 because that was like 2012, I think they released that. It was a pretty late release and pretty hard to come by, but I played that one on the GameCube, and it's a great game. New Super Mario Brothers Wii. This game, I played so much of this game. I played it co-op constantly with my friends. I had a lot of fun with it. It's nothing spectacular. The new Super Mario Brothers series has always just been good. Like, it's good. None of the levels are really stand out. You know, nothing about them really is excellent or anything, but they're always just good. And I know a lot of people don't like the co-op because it's a little chaotic, but I think it's fun. Oh, I think New Super Mario Bros. U is probably the best one of those. So we got here. I don't have much to say about this. I have 2 copies of it, but I don't have much to say about it. I have one sealed that I got at that game store, and then a more regular one. Knight's Journey of Dreams. I don't think I ever actually tried this one out. You know, bringing back the Knights series from the Saturn. I don't think I ever tried that one out, though, so I'm a big fan. Another duology for the Wii, at least. It is a trilogy, but No More Heroes, which I think is a great game. And No More Heroes 2. No More Heroes is like the reverse Pikmin, where right now it's a trilogy, and I feel like they get worse with every installment, but I think they're all good. I still like them all quite a bit. But No More Heroes 1 is just awesome. What a great game. No More Heroes 2, I feel like, is more streamlined. No More Heroes 1 is like a nice 10-hour game. No More Heroes 2 is a bit more streamlined. You can beat it in like 6 hours, but I think they're both still great games. I think they're a lot of fun. I would recommend playing them on the Switch version. You got like 60 FPS. You got really good controls. Those are great kind of remasters of those games. But still some really great Wii games. And the third one, I was just a bit disappointed with it. I still liked it for what it was, but I was just a bit disappointed with that one. I'm not going to lie. But this isn't a Switch collection video. If you want to see my thoughts on that one, you can go to the Switch collection. But this was a garage sale find. I picked it up because it's another one of the horror games that you don't get too much of on the Wii. Obscure, The Aftermath. I got this at a garage sale, but I haven't tried this one out yet. I know this was also on PS2, I believe. But I don't know if this one is even regarded well or not. Because you can't really trust like Metacritic for if a game is good, like a horror game is good, because some of these games have horrible reviews, but still are pretty solid. Oh, I got the receipt still in this. I got this at a Goodwill, this next game here, and I got the receipt still in here. So I'm trying to think. I got this in Canada, so I can probably dox this. I don't really care. I'm pretty sure I got this when I was in Canada. Okami, which I have shamefully never played to completion. I played a little bit of it, and I liked it, but I've never played this to completion. This is, of course, the copy with the IGN watermark. The Capcom just took the artwork from IGN, and it had a watermark. I mean, they can do that, I guess. It's their thing, but I can't believe no one caught that. I mean, that's pretty glaring right there. It just has a big old IGN watermark. But, as you can see, I got this. No, I wouldn't have been in Canada. I don't know. Shout out to Shakira for getting this. So I got this in July of 2014. June of 2014. I'm just really stupid. And yeah, shout out. 3 1/4. I paid 20 cents in tax. And this is interesting content right here. But yeah, shout out to that. I got this almost 9 years ago now. Where's the time gone? Oh, yeah. Onechambara Bikini Zombie Slayers. So this is a horrible game. It's a fun... If you can get a friend to suffer through this one with you and play it co-op with you, it's kind of enjoyable just how absurd it is, but it's really awful game. And yeah, you're just kind of girls in bikinis or, schoolgirl uniforms, which I've always thought is kind of creepy. And you're killing zombies. And what more could you want out of a game? I mean, what more could you want? I keep bumping the tripod, so this video is probably not even slightly straight anymore, which is, might be a problem. One Piece Unlimited Adventure. I don't know anything about One Piece. This game was pretty hard to come by on the Wii, but I think they reprinted it. But I had it when it was one of the more rare Wii games. I remember getting it cheap, but I don't know anything about One Piece. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not a faker, not a poser. I know One Piece has like 3,000 episodes. Everyone knows that. That's all I know. Pajama Sam. So this is another one of the humongous entertainment games that they ported over to the Wii. Still surprised they didn't do more, point and click games on the Wii. They had some of the Telltale stuff on the WiiWare when they were still point and clicks, but yeah, I'm surprised there was not a lot of the old LucasArts games came over to the Wii. Indiana Jones, that crappy Indiana Jones Staff of Kings, actually had the full game of Fate of Atlantis on there, which is interesting at the very least. But Pajama Sam, dude, the dude. We're continuing on. There's still more Wii games. We're not close to being done. This is almost an hour, and we're not close to being done. Pandora's Tower. This was, like I mentioned earlier, one of the other games that, put out by Nintendo in the rest of the world that they didn't want to bring over, so Xseed took it over. And this is a pretty cool game. It's pretty hard, but a pretty cool game. I think this is probably the most forgotten of all of them, but it's good. Phantom Brave, We Meet Again. So Phantom Brave is a strategy RPG series and from NIS, and they put it on the Wii. I think this is the first game. Is this the second one because it's called We Meet Again? I don't think they were thinking of it that much. I think this is the first game, like a port of it, because that was a PS2 game. They brought it here, but not one I've played extensively. Games that I have played extensively and for some reason have beat Poke Park Wii, but not just Poke Park Wii. Poke Park 2. Now these are very, very aimed at a younger audience. It's very clear that these games are aimed at small children. But for some reason, Poke Park 2 is a pretty late release game. That was 2012 Wii game, but for some reason I played through these, and I don't really know why. They're again kind of open world Pokemon games. You pretty much do the same three things over and over again. You hold the Wii remote sideways to control your character, and you just kind of, you chase Pokemon, or you do these little tasks and just go through a story. Once again, if you have a very young child, I'm thinking 5 or under, they might enjoy these, but I don't know how a grown man could get enjoyment out of these, and I don't know how me as a teenager got through these games. I don't know. They're fine, but I don't know. Pokemon Battle Revolution. Everyone hates me because I have this game, and apparently it's kind of expensive, hard to get. I got it for cheap, and everyone hates me because I've just never played it. I don't know. If you hate me for that, put it in the comments below. But I got some hateful comments about that in the past. I don't know why. Punch Out. This one's awesome. Next Level did this one as well, and it is just a fun, enjoyable return to what Punch Out is. You got the classic games, and then it went away for a while, and they bring it back, and has a lot of character. It's fun. It's funny. Great game. I got this game in a GameStop dumpster. This is Quantum of Solace for the Wii. This was in the GameStop dumpster. It worked and everything. It's nothing special. It's just another one of these Activision James Bond shooters that they were cranking out for a while. As far as those go, GoldenEye's probably your best bet. I don't think too many of them are very interesting otherwise. Rayman Origins. I actually have not played this one very much, which is weird because I think Rayman Legends is excellent. I played that one on Wii U, but I just skipped over Origins. And if it's anything like Legends, I'm sure it's great. But I always like the art style, and they did a great job with these. Got the first Raving Rabbids. I've never played it. Is this a minigame one, or is this when they were still platformers with the Rabbids? Yeah, these are minigames. Is it Rabbids Go Home is the platformer? I don't know. Got Red Steel. This is a pretty underwhelming launch game for the Wii. But then they kind of brought it back. They did a sequel. Ubisoft is known for putting out original game that no one really cares about, and then putting out a sequel that is, for some reason, pretty good. And yeah, Red Steel 2, it's not gonna blow you away or anything, but it's pretty good. It uses the Wii Motion Plus, and I think it definitely benefits from having that better motion controls. But you can get these ones for cheap, and they're at least worth checking out. They're kind of cool. I forget how to pronounce this game. This was a Nintendo published game that we never got over here. I forget who developed it. Somewhat notable name developed it. I don't remember. Regenleaf. So this Nintendo published this one in Japan. I got it when I was in Japan, but it did come out over here, and it probably never will. I don't know. I feel like Nintendo doesn't even remember they published this. Some good ones here. Got some Resident Evil titles. The Resident Evil Archives. Resident Evil 0. That's how I played Resident Evil 0 when I played it for the first time. And then a regular Resident Evil Remake. So these are essentially just the GameCube games thrown on a Wii. On a Wii disc. Not too much changes, but you can play them with the GameCube controller, so you can just pretend you're playing the GameCube version. You don't even need a memory card. But yeah. Great games. I mean, Resident Evil 0 is okay. Resident Evil Remake is great, though. And good ways to play them. Other than that, we got another classic. Resident Evil 4, of course. The Wii edition. Well-liked for the, motion control aiming that you can use for this one. So a lot of people say that it's the best version of it. Maybe, maybe not. I'm going to guess the remake is going to come in and probably dethrone that, but of the original game at least. You can also play it with the classic controller too. And then Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles, which is a decent enough light gun game. It's not, once again, not going to blow you away, but as far as Resident Evil in this era, you can do a lot worse. You can do a lot worse. You can do a lot worse. Rhythm Heaven Fever. So I really like the DS game, but for some reason, I think it was because I couldn't get into this one. I was like messing up simple things, and I think it was maybe like TV delay or something. I'm not sure, but should probably give this one another shot because I really like the DS one and the 3DS Rhythm Heaven games. All right, guys, I told you, I'm not lying about the whole Rock Band and Guitar Hero thing. I was hardcore in on them, so there's less Rock Band stuff that I got. AC/DC Rock Band track pack. This was awful. I mean, I got this for dirt cheap, but this all live. Come on, guys. A track back of only live AC/DC songs. Come on. And I think it's all. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what they were thinking with that one. Beatles Rock Band. They did a really great job with this one. You could just tell they really were Beatles fans and did a great job. I mean, that's a really well done one. Great set list. And then Rock Band 2 and Rock Band 3. I think Rock Band 3 is the greatest of these instrument-based rhythm games. It went a little bit over the top. They had the Pro Guitar, if anyone remembers. They had the keyboard and stuff like that. They were going a little crazy with it. It was starting to get expensive, but huge set list and great game. What if I told you we were still going with this? This is going to be a long one. This is going to be a long video. If you're still here, if you're still watching this video somehow, comment Rune Factory Tides of Destiny. Don't comment anything else. Just comment Rune Factory Tides of Destiny. And I just want that to be a comment by like a couple people in the comment section and just see if people get confused. So, yeah. I mean, Rune Factory, it's a kind of same thing with the Harvest Moon situation. It's like, am I really going to play the Wii ones or I'm going to play something a little bit more classic? I don't know. Got here this one. This is a pretty hard one to find. Sakura Wars, So Long My Love. This is Sakura Wars is a pretty popular Japanese role-playing strategy game with some dating elements in it as well. And as far as getting them in the United States, we've only ever got this one here, which also came out to PS2, and then the newest one on PS4. I think it was called New Sakura Wars in Japan. But we have not gotten too many. There's a lot of them. They go back for a while, but this is one of the only ones that we've got over here. Samba de Amigo. Samba de Amigo is coming back, guys. But yeah, I always thought this was a fun one. I have the Samba de Amigo on Dreamcast with the Maraca controllers in the original box too. But I always thought this was a fun concept, and it works well with Wii. It's going to work well with Switch, I bet, with Joy-Cons and everything. So this is a kind of a cool one. Silent Hill Shattered Memories. This is kind of a semi-remake of the first game in a way, and has some interesting like kind of psychological elements to it, like quizzes and stuff. Interesting use of the Wii remote. Solid title. Comes recommended, but I think it's expensive. I think it's getting expensive, guys. Gotta jump on this stuff before it goes sicko mode. Sin and Punishment Star's successor. So Sin and Punishment was a Japanese exclusive N64 game, kind of a rail shooter type thing. Pretty cool game. Now we're getting it over here. We got it on the Switch Online and stuff like that. We got it on Virtual Console at the time. They released the sequel over here on the Wii. I think Treasure developed this one too. And it's pretty good. I don't think it sold very well, so probably never see Sin and Punishment again, other than when they bring it out to be like, hey guys, remember Sin and Punishment? But cool game. Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform... Or no, this is just regular one. I played Transform on the Wii U a lot. That game's great, but I never played this one. I got it at a garage sale. It's still sealed with the Toys R Us sticker on it. I think I paid $1 for it. Okay, someone got really mad that I have no real opinion of Sonic the Black Knight. I don't think this game's I don't think these Sonic storybook games are really good. And then someone wrote me like an essay saying that they were good. I mean, no hate to that guy. If you like Sonic Black Knight, Sonic Secret Rings, more power to you. But I don't think my opinion's going to be really changed by reading an essay in my comment section, because I played these games. I tried them out, and I didn't really like them. But these are the Sonic storybooks games, and they made 2 of them for the Wii. I mean, they're not awful, but it's just like, I don't know. Sonic Colors. I know they really botched the new version of this game, the Sonic Colors Ultimate, but this is a pretty good one. I don't think I'm as hot on it as most people are. I prefer like Generations and stuff, but still a pretty good game. This is another garage sale find. I think I played for like 5 seconds, and I saw that the jump was you shake the Wii nunchuck, and I think I'd had enough. Splinter Cell Double Agent. This is the highly anticipated sequel to the best-selling Sam Fisher trademark saga. Another humongous game. All I need is Putt-Putt to complete the tetralogy. But we got Spy Fox here. Spy Fox goes hard. Spy Fox is epic, dude. Sega Superstars Tennis. It's tennis, and you play as different Sega characters that, I'm gonna be honest, probably didn't have much did Ulala have much relevance in the Wii era? I'm like the only person who likes Space Channel 5. Space Channel 5, if you guys didn't know, actually invented the Among Us. These are like the little crewmate guys from Space Channel 5. That's like the original Among Us. It's a little bit more of an eldritch version of the original Among Us, but that's like the original Among Us. The other garage sale find. This is a good compilation. SNK Arcade Classics Volume 1. There was never Volume 2 to my knowledge. Good compilation, though. One of the better compilations of these. You don't really see too much Neo Geo compilations, too, which is nice. A lot of games that you wouldn't normally get thrown on here. You got the Metal Slugs, you got Fatal Furies, King of the Monsters is a cool one. So yeah, there's some good stuff on here. Why is my copy of Super Mario Galaxy Nintendo... I don't know why I have a Nintendo Selects copy of that. Huh. I found how many copies of this game, and I, for some reason, kept the Nintendo Selects version? I don't know. But Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, great. I think I prefer 2. But I haven't... I played 1 recently on the Switch version, and there's a little bit of annoying motion control stuff in that one. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes there's some annoying motion control stuff in that one that I don't remember in the second game, but they're still both excellent. I mean, they're still both great games. And I don't know why Super Mario Galaxy 2 isn't on the Switch, but still a great game. It's an all-timer. This Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. This one's not very good. I like the classic Monkey Ball games, and Banana Blitz is just... Ugh. But then they somehow one-up themselves. And I've not played this one, but come on, guys. Do you really think a Monkey Ball game where you control it using the Wii balance board is going to be good? Come on. They made these too easy. I don't know. Like, they're just kind of lame now. Like, give us the classic tough as nails Monkey Ball. Don't give us this doo-doo. Am I right, guys? Super Paper Mario. I don't know why this is Nintendo Selects either. This game's alright. I like a lot of aspects of it, but I mean, if you were to ask me if I could have this game or if I could just have another classic style Paper Mario game, you know, I wouldn't take this game. But I would take it over Sticker Star and whatever it's Color Splash. I didn't play Origami King, but I would take it over those at least. Brawl. I mean, I played a ton of Brawl back in the day. Obviously, you know, I would rather play like Ultimate now, and I'd probably rather play Melee now. But you know, I'm not a Brawl hater. I think it's pretty fun still, but it's just not one that I'm gonna probably return to very much. But an iconic one of the time. Tales of Symphonia: Dawn of the New World. This is like a sequel to Tales of Symphonia. I feel like this game just gets forgotten. I like, what is it? Does it say Tales 10th anniversary? That's so funny. Tales is much older than 10 now, but yeah, I mean, I feel like this one gets forgotten a little bit, but they re-released this. There's a Tales... See, I don't get this new Tales of Symphonia remastered because they already remastered it for the PS3 with a pretty decent remaster of those games, and it has this game remastered too. So then they do this new Tales of Symphonia that's worse than the GameCube version that's on like the PS4 and the Switch, and I don't know what they were doing with that one. Here's a cool one. Wii is not really known for its fighting games, but Tatsunoko versus Capcom Ultimate All-Stars. Kind of weird that they brought this one out because I don't think too many Americans are going to probably be familiar with Tatsunoko, but this is a cool fighting game. There's a cool fight stick for this one as well, but yeah, really cool fighting game. It's interesting, though, that they brought this one out because I'm thinking not a lot of people are going to be like, heck yeah. A lot of Americans in, 2000, when did this come out? 2009? Somewhere around there? Are probably not going to be like, oh yeah, finally, Tatsunoko? Yeah, let's go. I don't know, though. Alright, we're closing in on the end. This is the final stack of Wii games. I'm just going to keep going. I'm surrounded by Wii games, how this is kind of set up here. And Ninja Turtles Smash Up. I got this at a garage sale. This is like a Smash Brothers clone. It's not very good, but I'm also not a big fan of the Ninja Turtles, so maybe you get something out of it if you were, but it's a Smash Brothers clone that's not great. Some cool games here, although I think these are better on the DS than they were on the Wii just because of how motion controls work. But Trauma Center, Second Opinion, and Trauma Center New Blood. I don't have Trauma Team. I got to get that one, but these are Atlas kind of... I don't want to say visual novel because it's not. It's like an adventure game type, but with like these kind of surgery mini games in it. They're cool. They're interesting. I can't imagine that these wouldn't come back. Like, I feel like they're bringing Etrian Odyssey back. I feel like Atlas could bring these back. But yeah, these are pretty cool games. Although, like I said, DS, it works a little bit better. It's a little hard with the shaky Wii remote. I'm gonna do some kind of like malpractice. So this is still going. Valhalla Knights Elder Saga. This is one of the rare JRPGs for the Wii. Not rare as in finding it, but I think it's probably not easy to find either. But not a very good game. As far as RPGs on the Wii go, this is probably an easy skip unless you're collecting, because it's not great. Graphics are horrible too, but just not a great game in general. Got Wario Land Shake It. So I'm surprised we've not seen the return of this one, of this series. Goodfield did this one, I believe. Has a really great 2D art style, really charming 2D art style, and just a fun game. I don't know why we can't get this series more. Give it to us. We want it. WarioWare Smooth Moves. I was pretty disappointed with the new WarioWare game on the Switch. But Smooth Moves, I think, is probably my favorite of them. I'm not some like WarioWare aficionado. I've not played a lot of them, but I think this is probably my favorite of them. This is a fun game, fun to play co-op. We got some Wii branded games. I can kind of go through these probably pretty quick. I don't have anything. What am I going to say about Wii Fit or Wii Fit Plus? Like, come on, guys. I don't have anything to say there. Oh, they fell over. Wii Music is odd. This game is really bad. Like, really, really bad. But there's something. God, I got hiccups there, dude. I'm leaving that in. I don't care. I dropped the Wii Music. I had the hiccups. I don't care. Wii Music is just, it's awful, but it's kind of like charming, where they're like, you could tell they were going for something, and it was just so misled. What they were going for was so misled that you can't help but pity it. I don't know. Not a good game by any means, not even remotely, but you know. Wii Party, I like this one. This was like kind of the Mario Party. After Mario Party fell off L plus ratio, this was kind of the game to play. I liked this one. There was a game where you hid the Wii remotes, and my friend and I played this way too much for teenagers to be playing hide and seek Wii remotes in my basement. But you know, it is what it is. Wii Play. I mean, this came with a controller, so I think everyone on Earth bought this. The tank game goes hard. The billiards is pretty fun. The some of the shooting ones are pretty all right, but there's some duds on there as well. Wii Sports, this one's Nintendo Selects because we only got it in a case in the Nintendo Selects re-release, but Wii Sports is iconic. I mean, one of the ultimate pack-in games besides maybe like, you know, Super Mario World. I mean, just what a great way to show off the system. And so many people just only ever had Wii Sports. Like they bought it for Wii Sports, and they were like, all right, you know, my time here is done. I got everything I need. Then Wii Sports Resort, which I think is a lot of fun too. Great expansion of Wii Sports with the Motion Plus and everything, bringing that in. 2 more games, guys. 2 more games. This is feature length. Xenoblade Chronicles. I remember this game was super hard to get because they only came out at GameStop. So I remember I was in Pennsylvania. I'm in Ohio. So I was in Pennsylvania with my parents, and I checked the GameStop app to see if any of the GameStops have it. And I saw one of them have it. And I'm like, we gotta go to this GameStop like 20 minutes away. And my parents were like, all right. But they ended up reprinting this. It's, you know, the Wii version's not worth too much because they re-released it on the 3DS, which is a honorable port. They tried. And then they did the definitive version on the Switch. If you're going to play any of them, play the Switch version. I really like the first Xenoblade. I'm not crazy about the second one, but I like the third one. But if you're going to play it, just play the definitive version on Switch. It was really impressive Wii game for the time. I mean, the character models look horrible, but it was really impressive just for the time. They really pushed the Wii to its limits, and it was like, man, this thing is still going. This is, once again, you know, we had to beg for this one to come out. It came out 2012 after it came out everywhere else in 2010. But I love the fact that Nintendo of America didn't want to localize this one, so they just had Nintendo of Europe localize it, and then they were just like, you know what? This is just a British series now. The characters are just British now. So we just have to deal with that, because now Nintendo Europe just localizes these. So thanks a lot, guys. Great game, though. I still think it's the best Xenoblade game. I'm sorry. Finally, Zack and Wiki, a fun little adventure game from Capcom. You know, what else is there to say? Pretty cool game. That's it, guys. 1 hour and 18 minutes of me going over Wii games and becoming slightly more delirious as time goes on. Like I said, time to collect before it starts getting out more expensive. There's already some games that have hit that kind of threshold, but there's still a lot of games you can get for dirt cheap. You know, you can get a lot of stuff. Garage sales, the thing I find the most is Wii games. That's where a lot of my Wii games came from. That and like GameStop when they were trying to clear them out. But garage sales, you'll find a lot of Wii stuff. A lot of it'll be junk, but you'll probably be able to build up a good first-party lot, a good set of the first-party classics pretty easily doing that, because there are a lot of copies of them out there. But yeah, I like the Wii a lot. I feel like overhated, underrated system, and fun to collect for, because there's just so much weird stuff on it. But I appreciate you watching this. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at ObjoGaming. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment down below with some Wii games that I don't have in the collection that I should pick up. I know I'm missing a few iconic ones. Dokapon Kingdom, that one's expensive now. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, I'd like to thank you for watching.